What up, muchachos? So recently the teaser trailer for Avatar 2 came out, and you know, I guess after 13 years, James Cameron finally decided that he was in the mood to come back with the milk and make a sequel to a movie that literally prints money by simply existing. Seriously though, I loved the first movie. I first saw it on Blu-ray when I was like 4 years old, and it was like crack cocaine for me. As at least according to my mom, I started to bawl my eyes out when the credits started rolling. I was more hooked than the average meth addict you'd find in the nearest Kmart parking lot. But regardless, since then I've rewatched the original more than once to say the very least, and even played that one Ubisoft game more than 24 times over the span of the last decade, that a grand total of -2 people remember to fill the void left by the first movie. I mean shit, I'm even using the game as B-roll in this very video. But as you can imagine, when I saw the trailer for Avatar 2, I was pretty excited to see everyone's favorite blue space elves make a return after the better part of 13 years. But you know what I wasn't so excited about? Well, it was a video I was unfortunate enough to stumble across in the recommended section. For you see, this absolute abortion of a YouTube video not only rubbed me the wrong way to the point where my brain cells feel violated, as if they got the Bill Cosby treatment as a result of the mental gymnastics exerted in said video, but gave me an existential crisis after trying to figure out how it's remotely possible to make a video so stupid and brain dead when they say shit like this.
It's no longer a popular movie, especially if it's been 22 years since the first one. 22 years?
Videos like this are quite the double-edged sword, since on one hand I get to laugh at someone's stupidity with the downside of my mental state declining even further. But the video in question is called The Real Reasons Avatar 2 Will Be Terrible. And you know, I really think the like to dislike ratio really just gives us an idea of the levels of quality that we're dealing with here. So with all of that said, let's just learn why Avatar 2 will be terrible. You know, just straight up garbage. Straight up liquid diarrhea running down your leg. Kill me.
When Avatar came out in 2009, it turned out to be the biggest movie in Hollywood history. And now, Avatar 2 is in the works, and fans can only hope for the best.
Yeah, no shit, I don't think I ever heard of a fanbase in any media that unironically was hoping that a follow-up or sequel wouldn't be good. Like, who the fuck is out here going, you know, I really enjoyed this game or movie, but I sure do hope the sequel sucks ass. I know it may seem like I'm nitpicking certain parts of this video, but I don't see the need to state the obvious.
But what if the movie doesn't meet expectations? What if it's whack? Your questions will be answered if you watch this video to the end.
Oh, you hear that, guys? You gotta watch the full video to the end, including the last minute or so of pure Avatar B-roll without any commentary to get the video just over 8 minutes. So they totally couldn't just blatantly slap on more ads. I mean, that's totally not the case, guys. We're definitely about to be fucking enlightened as to the true nature of Avatar 2. And maybe if we're lucky, we'll find out why this video needed to exist.
Because here's why Avatar 2 is not going to be good. Number 1, it's no longer a popular movie. It's no longer a popular movie.
Come again, motherfucker? Yeah, because the very movie that has literally held the record for highest grossing movie of all time since its release, which was briefly overtaken by Avengers before taking back its spot, is totally not popular at all. I mean, forget the fact that the fucking teaser trailer for Avatar 2 is currently sitting at 12 million views after like 2 days, which is way more than any trailer for the first movie on YouTube that I could find, and it's still trending. Editor's note: as of me editing this video, the trailer is now at 19.5 million views on the official Avatar channel, so GG outplayed. But hey, what do I know, right? Whatever some bozo called Movie Frenzy says must be true.
The world fell in love with the original Avatar movie when it first came out. It was breathtaking. It was awesome. It took film technology and visuals to another level. But this was in 2009.
Yeah, don't worry, I understand the basic concept of time. Like, I already know he's gonna try and spin this in a way that movies have caught up with the times and whatever, and aren't as impressive as they were years ago. But then if that's the case, then how come movies like Avengers Endgame briefly took Avatar over in the box office? The very same movie this motherfucker is gonna use later on to justify his retarded ass points.
And so many other technologically advanced movies have come out between then and now. What this means is simple. The Avatar 2 movie will be released to a more skeptical audience who may not find 3D animations interesting anymore.
You cannot be serious. Either this guy really is mentally deficient and is incapable of common sense, or this is some sort of out-of-season April Fool's joke. This man unironically said people may not find 3D animations interesting anymore, which in and of itself is not the best way to describe the technology used. But he says that while simultaneously using Marvel movies to prove his point later on, which in case you somehow didn't know, literally every fucking Marvel movie nowadays uses CGI to a certain extent. Like, I hate to keep bringing this point up, but it really is the best example to highlight this channel's blatant hypocrisy, since in this man's eyes it's fine when Marvel movies use CGI or whatever, but for some reason he can't apply the same logic to Avatar. I mean, just to further discredit this man, here's a clip I found of a theater reaction of the Avatar 2 teaser. Yeah, dude, that truly sounds like a fucking skeptical audience to me.
It's no longer a popular movie.
We're all just gonna ignore the fact that people were literally fucking screeching like banshees at the mere sight of some Navi running on trees.
If this happens, then we'll just have to hope the storyline and plots will make up for the film technology that the world no longer views as new.
Well, dude, I don't think it's exactly gonna be one of the 12 labors of Hercules to outdo the first movie in terms of the story, when it was essentially Pocahontas in space. But other than that, I don't think up until now I've heard anyone in recent times trying to make the claim that Avatar is still not visually impressive.
Technological advancements aside, it took too long for the sequel to come out. 22 years to be precise. 22 years to be precise.
I swear this cannot be fucking real, dude. Precise my ass. Where the fuck did you get 22 years from? Yeah, we should definitely be listening to the motherfuckers that can't do basic math. I swear at this point they're doing my job for me and discrediting themselves the more shit they spew.
And within that period, the movie that was once a blockbuster has now been forgotten.
Yeah, dude, totally fucking forgotten. Forget the 12 million views or so within the first 2 days on the Avatar 2 teaser trailer. The men in black themselves showed up and flashed me with the neuralizer.
Not literally, but how can one think of Avatar after seeing movies like Avengers Endgame?
I really don't get why he's acting like Avatar got erased from the fabric of reality, simply just because Avengers Endgame exists. And I think he's forgetting that, you know, not everyone is as much of a Marvel fanboy as he is. I mean, I really don't feel like getting into a side tangent as to why personally I don't give a shit about superhero movies anymore. But overall, this guy seems to have a really close-minded perspective when he puts Marvel movies on like this fucking elusive pedestal.
Speaking of which, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is dishing out about 4 movies a year.
Yeah, quantity doesn't exactly result in quality. I mean, fucking Morbius is a clear example of that, and overall I feel like this is a bad comparison. Because not only are these two separate intellectual properties, they're not trying to be the same fucking thing. They can coexist.
Which makes it easier for even die-hard fans to forget about Avatar.
Apparently, every Avatar fan now has fucking dementia and is incapable of grasping the concept of more than one movie existing. Again, they can coexist.
To add to that, we now live in the streaming age, which means there is just too much content for fans to consume.
You know, I realize I'm gonna be repeating myself a lot, but that's just more to do with the fact that this video is repeating the same shit over and over. But like I've said, quantity doesn't directly result in quality, dude. I mean, just look at fucking Netflix. That platform is so full to the brim with garbage filler no one cares about, with the occasional success here and there, and it's currently bleeding subscriptions and losing stock value as we speak. Oh, and since he loves to jerk off Marvel so much, I thought I'd use his own logic against him. Spider-Man No Way Home released in theaters last December, and it's made over $1.8 billion in revenue. The fact I literally used your own logic to disprove your point is all the proof you need that this video is shit and didn't need to exist.
And as we all know, the attention span of the average movie watcher is getting thinner by the day.
That's all well and dandy, well, not really, quite the opposite really, but I don't see what that has anything to do with whether or not Avatar 2 will be terrible. Like, that doesn't just apply to Avatar, you fucking dolt.
Simply put, Avatar 2 will almost not feel like a sequel. Rather, it will feel like a brand new movie, except it really isn't.
Bro, what the fuck does that mean on any level whatsoever?
Avatar 2 will almost not feel like a sequel. Rather, it will feel like a brand new movie, except it really isn't.
That's unironically gotta be the most retarded and contradictory statement I've heard in a long time. Words fail me in describing the stupidity behind that. Like, he starts off by saying that Avatar 2 will be a sequel, while not feeling like a sequel, and right after that he says like it'll feel like a brand new movie. Like, what? Like, you know the whole point of a fucking sequel is to be a continuation of its predecessor? But Jesus Christ, dude, we're like not even halfway into this shit, and I can already feel my brain cells getting suicidal tendencies the more this video goes on.
It is no longer culturally relevant, and even if it comes off decent, it wouldn't feel like it based on the new movie standards that we have today.
Oh yeah, it's totally not culturally relevant anymore, okay. But again, you've got to love the contradictions when they say that even if it's decent, it actually won't be, despite them literally just saying it could be decent because of some quote-unquote movie standards that they're conveniently not going to elaborate on. But I think it's pretty easy to deduce that these movie standards they're talking about is being a Marvel movie. Because, you know, man, movies like Morbius truly are the fucking holy grail.
Number 2, the 3D gimmick won't work.
I mean, you say that, but then literally go and use Marvel movies to justify your points, which all have 3D, CGI, whatever the fuck in them. Like, I sound like a broken record at this point, but the people who made this video, for whatever reason, cannot apply the same retarded logic to Marvel movies.
One of the major reasons the first Avatar was a smash hit was the use of 3D technology. This was so new to the world that even James Cameron had to wait for many years before the tech needed to make such a film was developed. But as I've mentioned before, many film producers have followed suit and improved on their visual technologies too.
Yeah, including James Cameron, the man literally developed a new motion capture technology for shooting scenes underwater. Like, my god, you don't need to be a hardcore Avatar fan to know this shit. It's literally on Google.
You know what that means, right? Yeah, who cares if your film is in 3D anymore? Big deal. Yeah, who cares if your film is in 3D anymore?
You know what that means? Who cares if those Marvel movies have huge scenic backdrops and great visual effects? Like, are you hearing how fucking condescending and belittling this motherfucker sounds? It's like he's got a fucking raging hate boner for Avatar or some shit.
If Avatar 2 is going to be worth talking about after its release, then the movie needs to depend less on visuals and focus more on mind-blowing twists and plots.
Again, that doesn't just solely apply to Avatar. Preferably, every movie should be good.
Number 3, making 4 sequels at once can hurt the quality of Part 2. Cameron doesn't roll out movies all the time, but he definitely knows how to leave an impression on the ones that he makes.
Something I find funny about this video is how one moment this guy will compliment and highlight the good qualities of James Cameron and Avatar, but will then proceed to take a complete 180 and contradict himself by saying that the sequel will fucking sink faster than the Titanic in the Atlantic Ocean because Marvel movies exist. And supposedly no one cares despite blatant evidence against that. Like, if you want to play devil's advocate, at least make sure your points can simply be disproven with a Google search and are completely brain dead.
Avatar, being his brainchild, must mean a lot to him. He wrote the original, and guess what? He wrote Avatar 2 as well. This shouldn't come as a surprise, as you wouldn't expect him to hand over the great responsibility of penning his sequel to someone else.
I mean, if it's so obvious, then why do they need to point it out?
Cameron has been in charge of the film's development at every single stage, including conception, scripting, and technology selection. While this shows hard work, dedication, and passion, it also means he's giving himself too much work to do.
How do you know what he can and can't do? What, are you involved in the production or some shit? Like, bro, watch out by exposing all of these details. You're breaking an NDA and might potentially get sued. But considering Cameron was able to pull off the first movie, along with all the other movies he's made, I have faith in him to deliver.
The scariest part is that he isn't just writing Avatar 2. He's also simultaneously writing Avatar 3, Avatar 4, and Avatar 5 all at the same time. Honestly, do you think spreading oneself too thinly across 4 movies at the same time will do any of the movies any good? I doubt it would, as it would be best to work on one at a time.
Holy shit, guys, I don't believe it. Movie Frenzy has actually made a good point for once. I didn't think it was possible. You know, let's hope they can continue this momentum and not say something retarded exactly right after this.
Especially if it's been 22 years since the first one. 22 years since the first one. 22 years.
I swear to god, I fucking can't, dude. Somebody get these motherfuckers a gold medal for hijacking their shore bus and driving it off a fucking cliff right into the ocean. They couldn't last more than 1 fucking second without saying something retarded. I don't know how many people worked on this video, but considering this channel has at least 2 separate narrators, let's go with the narrative that at least 2 people worked on this video. I mean, either that or they just paid some dude on Fiverr to voice over this shit. But regardless, throughout the process of writing the script, voicing over said script, and editing the video, not one fucking person pointed out the fact that it has not in fact been 22 years since the release of the first movie. Like, do they not have calculators? Although, why the fuck do you need a calculator for basic math? Are these people drinking water from fucking Flint, Michigan?
Think of how much Avatar 2 would have evolved in all those years. Imagine all the scribbling, canceling, scratching off, and rewriting.
To me, that just sounds like the normal thing you'd want to do if you actually gave a fuck about what you were making. In general, I think it's better to look at things from different perspectives rather than just using the initial draft, as you may realize potential opportunities to put in something you didn't think of before.
To be fair though, he did enlist the services of Josh Friedman to assist him with writing, but that doesn't take away the fact that he's the head writer and that they are working on 4 sequels all at once. This will surely affect the quality of each.
Yeah, giving credit where credit's due, I agree that it's kinda stupid James Cameron won't just focus on one movie instead of spreading himself thin. You know, if more of the video was like this, I probably wouldn't be here making this response right now.
Number 4, James Cameron himself has serious doubts.
I mean, wouldn't you be apprehensive when making a sequel to arguably the most influential movie of all time after like 13 years? Oh, and these doubts he's about to list off literally don't have anything to do with the quality of the movie itself.
In a December 2021 interview with Entertainment Weekly, James Cameron admitted that he was concerned about the Avatar sequels surviving the post-COVID era. He expressed fears over Avatar 2 not making nearly as much money as Avatar 1, and rightfully so.
Let me guess, it's because it's not a Marvel movie. And nah, but jokes aside, I think my earlier example of Spider-Man No Way Home success and Netflix being on life support is all the proof you need that movies in theaters are still viable, as long as the end result itself is good. But again, so far these financial doubts don't have anything to do with the quality of the movie itself, and how it'll be quote-unquote terrible. And you might say, well, if they're not confident in the movie doing well, they might use a smaller budget, which might limit the scope and creativity of the movie. Bro, literally all the planned Avatar movies share a budget of a fucking $1 billion, and considering the first movie's budget wasn't even a fourth of that, I think it'll do just fine.
As making 4 Avatar sequels at once must be very tasking financially.
Yeah, no shit, $1 billion isn't something to scoff at.
According to Cameron, if Avatar hadn't made so much damn money, we'd never do this because it's kind of crazy. So, what happens when you embark on a project and you're afraid it won't succeed? Will you be enthusiastic enough to put in your best, or will you panic and make silly creative mistakes along the way? Will you be afraid to invest in the kind of technology you want out of fear that your movie won't break even? The answers to these questions will play a major role in how good or how bad the Avatar 2 movie will be.
Well, dude, they literally developed a new motion capture technology just for this movie alone. So if the technical side of things is that major and important to you, I'm happy to say you can put your worries to rest. Oh wait, I forgot. It's not a Marvel movie. Well, dude, I'm sorry to say, but it looks like Avatar 2 will continue living rent-free in your head. Better luck next time! GG upload.
So, let's keep our fingers crossed. Number 5. Big movies have to make big bucks.
Holy shit, no way! Movies have to make money to be financially viable? You know, up until now, I've thought movie directors purposely wanted their movies to tank. Alongside the blatant hypocrisy and fanboyism at full display in this video, another large issue is them stating either something painfully obvious or something that could be applied to literally just about anything. Like, no shit, Sherlock, movies have to make money. The entertainment industry isn't a fucking charity, dumbass.
In case you didn't know, the original Avatar movie raked in a mouth-watering $2.8 billion at the box office. It held the record for the highest earning movie of all time, which was very remarkable considering it cost only $237 million to make.
Yeah, and despite it being briefly overtaken by Avengers Endgame in the box office, which might I add had an additional $119 million to work with, Avatar reclaimed the spot as the most financially successful movie of all time. Like, I definitely have a bias and nostalgia for Avatar, but I don't know how much more evidence you need that the sequel will be just fine. So seeing how in this next part he just talks about the budget, with the power of editing, we'll be fast forwarding this shit.
So how much is being spent on Avatar 2? Wait, we're at about $1 billion. Well, the cash is being spread across the 4 sequels, but most of it is being invested in Avatar 2 since it is the next in line. Also, many of the things built for Avatar 2 can be reused across the other sequels, so it still seems like a wise financial move. However, $1 billion is no joke, whether it's being used for a single film or for several films, and it will be pretty unfortunate if that investment isn't recovered at the box office. This isn't the first time.
You know, I hate to harp on the little things, but this entire video is filled to the brim with little things that just keep fucking piling up. So here's a suggestion. Maybe don't edit the B-roll in a way that will give your audience a fucking seizure.
Similarly, all 3 Lord of the Rings movies were made simultaneously. However, filming all 3 of them cost only $285 million. This is nowhere near the cost of James Cameron's $1 billion budget for Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, we know, don't worry, dude. Unlike you, we're capable of doing basic math. But comparing Lord of the Rings to Avatar is fucking retarded when you take into consideration the difference in the amount of CGI used. I mean, in Lord of the Rings, most of the CGI used was for that dragon motherfucker called Smaug or some shit. I don't know, I don't really remember. There might have been something else on around the scale of that, but you get the point.
In fact, there's a massive difference of $715 million.
So you know that, but can't do fucking 22 minus 9. What the fuck?
Simply put, failure to reach Avatar 1's total earnings of over $2.8 billion would be a disappointment, and going by box office sales, it is just not good enough.
What do you mean not good enough? Even if the sequel makes $1 billion less than the original, that's still a fucking $1 billion, you mongoloid. It still covers more than the $250 million budget for the movie.
All in all, it'll be good to see Avatar on the big screen once again. I mean, it's been too long, and while I wouldn't expect much from the film, we can still keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. And just so I don't sound like a skeptic or a hater, let's talk about a few reasons why Avatar 2 might still be worth checking out.
Hate to break it to you, but just because your bipolar ass is gonna try to save face for the pure retardation we've been held witness to, it doesn't erase said retardation from existence.
Number 1. The budget is $1 billion. Big budget movies indeed have to make big returns, and while the box office pressure may be real, the fact remains that there are $1 billion to work with. That means hiring the best hands, the best technology, and the best anything that there is that the film industry has to offer.
But wait a minute, I thought you said...
Number 2. The 3D gimmick won't work. Who cares if your film is in 3D anymore? Big deal. Who cares?
I mean, you've got to love when a motherfucker contradicts themselves in their own video. I mean, it's not even like them saying that the technology being a good reason to watch the movie is a bad point, but they literally said the opposite at the start of the video. So which one is it, dude?
Number 2. It's a James Cameron movie. Hey, let's face it, the one and only James Cameron, the same man who has blessed the world with absolute classics since the 80s. Ask yourself, how many times has good old James let you down in the past, film-wise? Not many, I would say.
They acknowledge this this while earlier in the video doubting James Cameron's abilities to pull off Avatar 2. Clearly by looking at the like to dislike ratio in the comment section of the video. I'm not the only one seeing the retardation and hypocrisy before us.
The man has directed 10 movies throughout his career, and at least 7 of them were iconic. We all know that James doesn't roll out films every year, as he's one of the most patient men in the business, so what if Avatar 2 is going to be another rabbit out of his hat? What if he waited 22 years? 22 years!
I swear to God, do the motherfuckers behind this video not have a calculator? Or are they incapable of doing second grade math? They say it more than once during the video, and I don't know how no one picked up on them making that blatant mistake. I mean, considering the quality of this video, maybe they just didn't give enough of a shit to fix it.
To make part 2, simply because the technology he needed to make it wasn't available in 2009. Time will tell.
Yeah, that's literally one of the reasons. The man had to literally develop a new motion capture technology to film underwater scenes, since the technology previously available was not deemed good enough.
Number 3, the concept art is crazy. They say don't judge a book by its cover, but that'll be hard to do if you've seen the concept art for Avatar 2. It is simply breathtaking. When you think of the movie's $1 billion budget, then it shouldn't come as a surprise that only the best artists were hired to handle the concept art.
Yeah, I don't think they're about to hire 30-year-old Larry who lives with his parents and draws furry porn on DeviantArt to handle the concept art for Avatar 2. Just a hunch. These guys really are masters of stating either something retarded and hypocritical or the clearly obvious.
If the movie looks anything like what I'm seeing of the artwork, then it'll probably be the best movie of all time, in terms of visuals at least. Speaking of visuals, imagine viewing them with a pair of 3D glasses on. It'll feel like you're on another planet, or even in a dream, or in the movie itself. Awesome, right? Awesome, right?
No, they did not just use 3D as a reason to see the movie, after literally saying the 3D gimmick won't work.
The 3D gimmick won't work.
What the fuck is this video, dude? Are these people actually bipolar? Either that or they have some form of dementia, and they'll remember what they said literal minutes ago. God, can this video just please fucking end already?
But once again, we'll have to wait and hope that the film is actually as good as its cover. Well, there you have it, guys. My thoughts on why Avatar 2 is not going to be good. Keep in mind that this is just my opinion and doesn't necessarily depict the actual quality of the film.
Yeah, thank fuck. I don't even want to imagine what Avatar will look like if it was up to this motherfucker's interpretation. But you gotta love the classic, oh, it's just my opinion card, as a way to try and mitigate the backlash and criticism. Well, dude, here's my opinion. You're fucking retarded.
We have to see the movie first to say for sure. So what do you think? Is Avatar 2 going to be a great movie? Let's have your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with more awesome videos just like this.
Yeah, I don't know if awesome is quite the word to describe this shit, but if this video is anything to go off by, I don't think I'll be doing any of that. But with that sweltering and festering asshole of a YouTube video comes to a close. Well, I mean, there was like an additional minute left, but like I said at the start of the video, it was just fucking B-roll to get the video over 8 minutes. You know, the video was only like 7 minutes of retardation in actuality, but it felt more like an eternity with the eagerness of my brain to self-destruct after the brain damage I received, no doubt. But thankfully, it seems as if we've escaped the 7th circle of hell and are in the clear. But in conclusion, Avatar 2 will be a hot, steaming pile of shit, because it's apparently been 22 years since the original, and it's not a Marvel movie. Case closed.
22 years.
Nah, but in all seriousness, that'll be it for this video. I don't really make videos centered about movies, but this shit was just too good to pass up. Regardless, if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as the support is appreciated. That being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.